Hey, everybody. Thanks for checking out my broadcast today. I was looking at it, and today is the 22nd broadcast I've done, which is pretty cool. Uh, it is day 34 of my 3-year challenge here to focus on my health and wellness to help break my food addiction and to learn. Hey, how's it going, Bolt? Here, relearn how to eat and figure out what the best diet for me is. I'm starting this off with an extended fast, and initially I was planned on doing a 30-day fast. I kind of always in the back of my mind felt that if I felt good at 30, I was going to push it longer. I've decided to push it to 1,000 hours, which is just over uh, 40 days. It's like 41 days and a little bit longer. So I have about a week left to go. It'd be a week from tomorrow when I will break my fast. Um, I always knew that fasting isn't, going to be the permanent thing I was going to do. It was, but it was, I know I have an addiction to food, and I keep going back to all the bad foods every time I succeed with a diet. And so this fast is, just kind of to help kickstart it. I may flirt with doing a fast again in the spring. I don't know if it would be as long, and I will do intermittent fasting and some shorter fasts throughout the next 3 years. Absolutely. Um, but I kind of know I can't keep putting off. I have to start learning what to do. Um, and uh, and so that's kind of why 40 days I think is a good kind of marker to do that. And so anybody have any non-scale victories? The one I'm kind of similar to the other one, but the shirt I'm wearing today is very blue. It comes off very blue on the screen too. It matches all my other, very color coordinated. Um, but this is one of those like new old shirts where it's a shirt that I used to have uh, that I'm fitting back into. But this is a unique one because this one is what I would call a new, old, new shirt. And so what that means is that this shirt was purchased because it's a 5X. It should have fit, but the cut isn't the same on all shirts. So I didn't like the cut on this shirt. And so I never wore this shirt, but I don't know. I don't think it picks up very well if I'm away from the mic, but the shirt was too short. Uh, and I don't like it. Like if I put my hands over my head and my belly shows, I don't like that. So uh, I know that when the shirt was purchased, it was purchased with probably one or two other shirts, and then I uh, I just didn't like this one, and we never returned it. So it's this is the first time it's ever been worn, and so that's kind of a non-scale victory. That's awesome. The other is I decided I had that Instagram photo I had of my side by side, and I posted it onto Reddit onto the fasting, and actually Bolt made a comment here that he saw me there yesterday. Um, yeah, and so he started fasting. With that, I hope you do well with it, and it's cool. I had a lot of traction from the post though. Right before I got on here, I looked and I ended up having like I think like 1,600 upvotes on it. There was 200 comments. All of them were great, very encouraging comments, which is awesome. I picked up like 60 subscribers on here, which is cool as well. And so that was kind of a cool to get that kind of feedback from everybody, and um, kind of the uh, encouragement from everybody, is awesome. And so that was really kind of a cool non-scale victory, I would say. I had been, I've been doing these videos for a month, and then yeah, Bolt, I do stream. So like I said, this is the 22nd one I've done. I try to do it at 4 p.m. Central uh, on weekdays. And there's some time, I'm not gonna stream on a holiday. Um, sometimes things get in the way. It's not gonna, it's not every day. And I don't know. I'm doing it definitely through the fast here, and then we'll see. I really like talking to people on the chat and seeing how everybody's doing on their diets. I love seeing a variety of diets. I just want to see people succeed with their diet, because I know how frustrating it can be to try to diet and not feel like uh, you're supported. But um, the one of the things I wanted to talk about that I don't know if I'll get to, I got a lot of notes on it here today, and we'll see how I go through it, because it's not very, but I was talking about, or thinking about, um, like relationships in your life, and your my relationship with food, and why it's never been like, or I guess I've never thought about it, like treating my relationship with food like like a relationship, like a personal relationship that you want to get married. People, are you married to that diet? Are you married to this thing? And um, I don't know why we don't look at it more like a marriage, in that, like, you don't have to marry it from day one. Like, you don't have to, if I do keto, that doesn't mean I'm married to keto the rest of my life. So I'm going to do keto all the time. That doesn't work like that. And it never, I mean, I don't know that it ever succeeds necessarily like that. And so, you know, maybe dating for everybody should be more like courting, or, or finding a wife, if that's what you're looking for. If you're looking to find uh, a a diet you want to do the rest of your life, or marry, or sometimes you're not looking for a diet that you want. Like, fasting is not a diet that I'm gonna marry. It's not something I'm gonna do. Or water fasting like this for the rest of my life. But my the diet I marry might have like, small periods of extended water fasting included in it. And so uh and so, like, and when I look back at diets I've had, if I look at it from that kind of filter of a relationship, I look at, like, when you look at the variety of diets, or you go out and you speed date your diets, the diets you do for 2 or 3 or 4 days. And one example I was talking to my wife about was I ordered these pills that I saw, like a late night 2 a.m. infomercial. You take the pill and they inflate in your stomach, and so that tricks your body into thinking your stomach's full, so you don't eat as much. And I ordered the pills, and I thought it was going to be great, and then the pills showed up, and I took like one pill, and I was like, maybe I don't, maybe this isn't as, maybe it's not right. It just seemed wrong to, like, put cotton in your stomach. Is the best I could understand is what it was. And so I dumped that date right away, Um but or and if you're not necessarily, looking to get married to your diet, you could be, just looking for some diet to get you where you want to be, like the fasting. I'm fasting, water fasting like this, to help get me to where I want to be. And then I'm going to move on from that. I'm going to start dating a different diet. And I'm going to, I'm going to date that diet for a couple weeks. And maybe that diet is, got a little bit more fat in it than I want, or maybe it's leaner than I like, and so then y the thing you do though is you have to break up with your diet. You can't just go out and cheat on it. You can't just, once you decide you're done with that relationship, you don't just go out and lick the first lollipop that you see. You have to make a plan. You have to exit the relationship, and yeah, and so once you know, and you want to continue because you're looking. I'm looking for a diet I want to marry. I mean, it's so I don't want to go back to what I was doing, and I've talked about you can't let your diet run feral. You have to put it in some box. And so then and then I look back, like I said, looking back, I look at the longer relationships that I had with food. Did I was I serious like the diets that I did for 9 months or a year that helped me lose 80 pounds or um 80 or 100 or more. What did I like about those relationships, or like was I kidding myself the whole time? Like um the diet, I lost 140 pounds about 7 years ago, and I was on a diet that was super low calorie, and I was not eating well. It was low cal, and I was eating the volume of food. I mean, I would have a candy bar, I would have potato chips, and I would have like a protein, and that would make up my 600 calories. And so like I I was lying to myself thinking that that was a diet that I could be married to the rest of my life, or a diet that would be sustainable. And then when I got, once I realized that the relationship was over, I didn't rein it, and like I said, it like uh do you cheat on it, or do you leave like you're supposed to? Do you find another diet relationship, or find another healthy relationship outside of the diet that you're leaving? um and uh Yeah, Jason was asking about, or I'm sorry, Bolt was asking about where I learned about fasting. It's a lot of just online stuff. It was something that my wife and I looked into a couple years ago, and then I kind of dipped my toe in. I did a little bit of extended fasting. I've seen a bunch of Jason Fung stuff uh, that you asked about here, and I mean, there's all kinds of doctors. Uh, and then so yeah, a lot of it's been YouTube stuff. I've seen the guys that have done the longer fast than I plan on doing. A lot of the fasting is, it's tough to recommend fasting to anybody. I encourage, if you feel confident in it, that that to be confident in yourself, if you have that. But the a lot of, for me, is body mass. I have the fat. If I didn't have um 300 pounds of fat, or a million extra calories, then this wouldn't be possible at all. So everybody's different. um and so yeah, that I hope that answers your question there. And then yeah, with the relationship with the food, kind of in uh Carrie says it here with the um you cheat on it, and then you beat yourself up about it, and then you try to ignore that you cheated on it, maybe, or you're like, well, that cheat felt so good, and then I'm sure that's how that works in a real relationship as well. And so um but I guess one of the big things I really like doing these live streams, and I would love, I love hearing how people's diets are going. um but I want to build a community where we, people are encouraging people on whatever diet they're doing. I want to hear about your success no matter what diet you're choosing to do, because like if you look at this analogy with the diet is like at the end of the day, the diet that you decide to marry, it doesn't have to be the perfect vegan or keto or paleo or Mediterranean or vegetarian diet. It can have freckles, it can have a hairy back, it can have moles, it can have things that aren't perfect, but it's perfect for you just like your partner is perfect for you. And so I mean, and if you're going to make your lifelong diet, you have to make it something because you're getting to choose this, you know, but it's got to be something you can commit to and you can marry and you can not cheat on. And so you have to, if you're eliminating sugars, but maybe you want to allow yourself to have a single piece of candy and not call it a cheat, that's the diet you're marrying. And the other thing I guess I want to get off across about it too that I see a lot in communities and a lot of people are scared about is that in life you don't go around and you don't start calling other people's partners ugly or you don't call them names. And so if you don't agree with somebody else's diet, but it's working for them, then you can't be mad that your friend married a blonde and you like brunettes, and so that's something that I see with the fasting that there's a lot of fear with it, and then also with like Carrie mentioned the right now she's dating a plant-based diet. And so like you pick that type of diet and you bring that up to a family member that, or I mean, even me 3 months ago, and I'm just like, well, you got to have some meat that's not, and then more research you do, you learn some things, but I think you got to be happy about how everybody's doing as long as they're happy with the diet that they've chosen to marry. Um, and so that was kind of what I had about all that. I just thought it was an interesting thought I had that maybe I hadn't seen before. Is that it's not quite treated like a personal relationship, and maybe thinking about it that way, you know, helps. Um, with the weigh-in, I'm not weighing in today. I'm wearing a fancy outfit, so I don't have my. I'm probably gonna try to weigh in with that same outfit that I've always worn. I'll probably just leave it here and change in and out of it, uh, just because it's starting to get to the point where I'm probably not gonna wear those outfits all the time. I'm sure my wife will be happy to hear that. I'm gonna get a drink of water real quick. Hold on a second. My wife's water bottle. Got the big word cake right on the side. And baking queen. I am not a baking queen. So let me see here what Bolt wrote here. So yeah, I don't worry. Yeah, that's right. So that's great that you're getting back into it. I guess what he said. I should have just read it as I was reading it. But he lost a lot of weight a few years back. He did it by what he felt like was over exercising. He wants to do it with fasting. Uh, and then, and as far as that goes, yeah, I've done that. I feel like that is been what has caused me to push so hard to do it at the dining room table is that I did lose weight by over exercising, and I again, it wasn't sustainable to continue that that for the long term, you know. And so, but the only way I knew how to work out was to over exercise, and that's kind of, I mean, this is just coming off the top of my head, I suppose, but that might come from high school athletics when you had to exercise as hard as you could because they were trying to push you to be your best, you know. And so every time I go into the gym, I feel like if I don't work it to exhaustion, then I didn't really get a workout because that's how I was trained to work out. I guess I hadn't really thought of that. But um and then the other part is about uh people sharing information and choosing what you share. And that's kind of uh right, like that's what I kind of am talking about with, like, it's tough to grow, I think, a community like I want, because it's going to be hard for people not to push their opinions on everybody, because I don't necessarily know that doing this fasting is the right thing to do, but I do know that choosing to put my health and wellness as a priority for the 3 years is going to benefit me in the long run. And it's going to help me create habits that I will develop the rest of my life. And whether I choose to do one diet for a month and then a different one the next, all of it's going to get me to the end to find out which diet I'm going to marry at the end of 3 years. Like a big bachelor episode. Which diet am I going to give the roses to this week? Um, and then Yeah, absolutely. You're gonna lose weight over exercising as long as you have a calorie deficit, and that's a lot. I mean, there's so much more coming out every year about different things. I mean, when I was in college, I made a uh, half-arsed attempt to lose some weight, and my knowledge and the knowledge of nutrition 20 years ago is far different than it is now. And so much of it is about uh, the the total daily energy output that you have, and they're getting a lot into more of the macronutrient stuff, which would have been voodoo stuff 20, 30 years ago. They would have just said follow the food pyramid, and how wrong has that been in hindsight now? um Another thing I like to talk about in the live streams is kind of areas where my food addiction has got me in the past, or or times I've had my food addiction pop up uh, in the in during this fast. With the uh, putting kids sandwiches together and getting a little bit of peanut butter on your finger and licking, wanting to lick it, or but a couple, I guess, w- probably would be a non-scale victory, but I also think it's a victory against my food addiction. Talked about it in the past. I have the McDonald's app on my phone. Apparently, they missed me and sent me an alert today. Uh, I think the local McDonald's was gonna have to close up their doors if I didn't start buying food from them again. I told them sorry about your luck, but anyways, I got that alert, and it made me realize that I probably don't ever need to see an alert from McDonald's again. And so I deleted the McDonald's app off my phone, which was something that I used quite a bit. And so it's an odd non-scale victory, I suppose, but it's the one I got. The other one is also fast food related, and uh, I have an office that I have to go to for work, probably 2 to 4 times a year. Just depends on paperwork things. And that office happens to be right next to a Taco John's, which is like the only Taco John's that's in town. And it's not an area that I go by except for to go to this office. And so Taco John's is a must stop at restaurant because, uh, yeah, they might go out of business in between the times that I'm in that area. And I would hate to miss out on my last opportunity to get a stuffed grilled taco. And so that was skipped today. And so, because I went to that office, and so not only I didn't look up the price, should look up the price of that, but um, if you go back and watch my videos from during the fast, I was recording, or I kind of tracked the last 10 days of my 30-day fast, if you look at it really, but how much money I was spending in fast food before I started this fast here, and just how much of a waste that money was. And so I'm not going to go through each item of the meal, but I did the math on the calories, and it was depending on if they have a limited time item that I would get when it had, it was between 19, it was like 2,000 calories to 2,400 calories in one meal. And then generally something like that, I mean, I would get that regardless of whether I had a fast food breakfast or I was planning on doing a big dinner, because that was a must stop. So um again, it's just me trying to point out where my addiction has failed me in the past, and this is all just to encourage myself to move forward. If any of you guys, I don't know if any of you guys had fast food issues like that, or what everybody has different crutches, whether it's chips or different things. But uh, what was the question that was at the right at the end of the stream yesterday that I left? I should have wrote that down. Give it a second here. I can't remember, but there was something that came up that I was like, "Oh, we'll talk about that next time," and then I didn't write it down, and I should have. But I'm real excited about all of the feedback that I got from everybody from the fasting. Happy to see Bolt came on here and kind of shared some info with us today. I'm excited to see how you do. I won't be on again until uh, Monday. And how to celebrate or reward yourself without food. I I had thought of one that I told you that when I got to like 275 would be a good reward. But that's pretty far away. Um, but yeah, it was. I can't remember what it was. I thought it was a low cost thing. Maybe it was expensive. It could have been going to a roller coaster thing or something. Um, but yeah, just I'm continuing to try to think of ways to uh, celebrate without food, because food is always seems to be at every celebration. And so that was something I kind of brought up at the end of the thing yesterday. If anybody had any suggestion, I don't remember what it was. That's why I'm asking you. So uh, yeah, I'm super excited about where this is. I feel great really this far in. Um, and I'll be back um on Monday. It might have been going to a theme park. I didn't think it was, but yeah, roller coasters. That's something I always like doing, roller coasters, but it has been a long time, and I never felt great on a roller coaster because I've always been pretty heavy. I've never really been uh, thin at any point. But anyways, I want to thank everybody for checking out the stream today. I also have an Instagram that I do post some photos on. I might weigh in tomorrow. I will weigh in Monday for sure for the stream. And then, like I said, I might weigh in tomorrow if I'm in the office or I get a chance. And I would post that onto my Instagram, which is at Fasting. That is FAHSTING. But yeah, I will be back on Monday. Thanks, everybody. I hope you have a great weekend and you all are succeeding in your diets. You stay strong, 2 Bolt.